Hello besties, today we are doing a book pages Tumbler tutorial. But before then, let me welcome you to our YouTube channel, Misfit Makers Besties. Make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms and click that subscribe button so you'll be notified of any new content. Also, check our website and our Patreon. Let's get started. I'm using a 20-ounce skinny sublimated tumbler from CCDIY, and I'm using a old used book that I got from the Goodwill. It's a book of jokes, very similar to dad jokes. You'll see why. But like I said, I'm using a sublimated tumbler, so I'm going to scuff it up a little bit. No need to get a sub tumbler, but make sure you spray paint your cup white. Next, I decided on design. I'm doing a V split. I want to showcase the book pages and also do a little wood grain action. This tumbler is for a B, so I want it to be a little manly, so I figured the wood grain would kind of pull into it but still have like a little design. But you can do whatever you want. You could fill it up all with book pages if you want. But if you're doing a V-split like me, make sure to tape off the area that you're not using the book pages. I'm using painter's tape and just following the line there. After you got your tumbler taped up there, then you can get started on applying your book pages. I'm using Quick Coat by CCDIY with a little brush and glove fingers as my adhesive. And as you see, I've cut the little jokes in little pieces, and I've kind of layered them up. These are actual book pages, but if you do not use an actual book, then you won't see the other words like kind of pop through. As it dries, you'll be able to see it less. So if you like that more clean look, that you don't want those letters, the back of the pages to show, you could always print them off, scan it and print it off. Or you could always find pages from famous books online that you could just print off. This was an old joke book, so no loss there. Nobody read it anymore. It was, you know what I mean. I didn't feel bad about tearing it up, but if you do, then absolutely make copies of it. So as you see here, I'm just layering them, taking my time, using my finger to kind of flatten them out. You want to make sure to do at least 2 to 3 coats of Quick Coat. Make sure every layer dries before you go in with the second coat. After it is nice and stiff and hard, then you can cut the edges there, trim it up. As you see here, I'm using my tape edge as my guide. It was a little tricky because it was stuck pretty good and I couldn't see the line, but there I am using my tape again as my guide. Just clean it up. Also, I didn't show it in the video, I believe, but I also trim the bottom using an edge trimmer. Again, you want to do this when your paper is stiff, dry, and easy to cut through. If not, it's going to pool and shred, or you know what paper does when it's wet. So after I get all this tape up, then we are ready to do our wood grain. I started off my wood grain at the bottom just to kind of test it out, test out the color. The bottom doesn't really matter, just kind of get it painted. I did a couple coats. I am using sepia, I believe, from Tim Holtz inks, but just use your favorite inks that you want here. Make sure that you don't get it on your paper on that edge, but if you do, not a big deal. Again, I'm doing a wood grain, but you can absolutely do glitter here. You can do paint. You can do it all in paper. You can do a different color wood grain. You can do whatever you want. In my example that I did on live in the Besties group, I actually did an ombre of 2 glitters in that section, and it looks pretty cool. So head on over there if you want to go look at it. So here I am. I do 2 coats of the wood grain just to kind of saturate it, make sure it looks good. Just keep on layering it. The great thing about alcohol inks is that they're very forgiving and you can layer them as many times as you want to get the desired color. So after my wood grains are dry, my alcohol ink is dry, then I am going to epoxy it for the first time using CCDIY's Fast Set. I did add a tiny bit of glitter because I want to make it sparkle, even though this is for my man. Still, I want to make it sparkle. Look here, I'm showing you how I'm about to epoxy it. I don't know if I actually showed the process, but nope, I didn't. Here we go. Here it is already with one coat of epoxy. I am going to sand it very lightly. Remember, it only has one coat. Even though Facet is thicker than a Snicker, you still want to be very gentle with your first coat. I am going to go ahead and clean it up, and then I'm going to apply my vinyl stripes. This just like feel like it makes it look more finished. I do this with my glitter tumblers as well, especially if that little line is a little wonky. Make sure that you take the time to stripe it up. I cut my stripes at 0.05 on my Cricut. I'm just using plain old black ones. So after I apply my vinyl stripes and after I put a decal, I didn't record myself putting a decal because I could not find one, and when I did find one, I did have my phone to record it, but you will see the final result. I put 2 more coats of CCDIY's Facet, and she was done. I can't wait to show you. I can't wait for you to see. And do you see the little sparkles? There's a tiny bit of sparkles, and I like it. I love it. And there's little wrinkles in the paper, but you can't feel them over the epoxy. I like those too. I like the look of it looking aged, but you do you, whatever you love. But look how cool it turned out. It says, "Dad jokes loading. Please wait." So thank you so much for our Patreons. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspired you to make your own book pages tumbler. And please tag us. Let us know if you tried this. Till next time. Bye.